tribute to a White House meeting with the top 4 congressional leaders, with Democrats demanding health insurance subsidies be extended as a part of negotiations. Republicans need at least 7 Democrats to support the short-term funding bill that already passed the House. This morning, there's also growing scrutiny over whether President Trump is using the Justice Department to carry out political revenge. Former FBI Director James Comey was indicted on Thursday after a career prosecutor who refused to bring charges resigned amid pressure from Mr. Trump and was replaced by a former personal lawyer of his who has no experience as a prosecutor. The president suggested others will be next.
It's not a list, but I think there'll be others. I mean, they're corrupt. These were corrupt, radical left Democrats. Because Comey essentially was he's worse than a Democrat. I would say the Democrats are better than Comey. But no, there'll be others. Look, that's my opinion. They weaponized the Justice Department like nobody in history. What they've done is terrible. And so I hope there are others, because you can't let this happen to a country.
On Saturday, I spoke with Senate Majority Leader John Thune before President Trump agreed to meet congressional leaders over the shutdown. Leader Thune, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Thank you, Kristen. Nice to be with you.
Thank you so much for being here on a big weekend. We are going to get to the funding battle on Capitol Hill in just a moment, but I do want to start with the indictment of former FBI Director James Comey, who is, as you know, an outspoken critic of President Trump's. And it comes as the president publicly pushed his Attorney General, Pam Bondi, to prosecute Mr. Comey in a social media post last week. Let me ask you, Leader Thune, do you believe the Justice Department is acting independently here?
Well, it's based upon the findings of a grand jury, Kristen. So I think that that was the indictment that came. It was by a jury of his peers. This is not a new subject, obviously. This is something that the Senate Judiciary Committee examined, and it lodged a active investigation into back in 2020. So I think these are just, the courts are going to have to decide this. These are allegations. They're not unserious allegations. And there are people in the past who've gone to jail for lying to Congress. So I think that I trust the judicial system and the justice system to figure this out. Obviously, they're going to have the final say in it.
Well, I guess the question is about what we have heard from the president on this matter, and he has been going after former FBI Director James Comey for years. Take a listen to a little bit of what he said.
I fired James Comey because he was a bad cop and he was a dirty cop.
I think Comey is a disgrace to our country. I will tell you this, a great honor to fire James Comey. A great honor.
I just want people to act. If they're not guilty, that's fine. If they are guilty or if they should be charged, they should be charged. And we have to do it now.
Leader Thune, given all of that, is this a politically motivated prosecution?
Well, I think the important statement that he made, Christian, was the last one, and that if he's guilty, he should be judged. If he's not guilty, he won't be. And again, I trust the justice system to sort that out. Obviously, these were serious enough allegations that the Senate Judiciary Committee back at the time launched an active investigation into the subject. But again, I trust the justice system. There will be a process. He will have his day in court, and if he is innocent of the charges, then I'm sure that they'll be thrown out.
But, Mr. Leader, President Trump also said this week, quote, "I hope there are others," indicating he'd like to see opponents charged. And on Friday, Attorney General Pam Bondi said this. She said, quote, "This is just the beginning. Would you support the Justice Department bringing criminal charges against other political opponents of President Trump's?"
Obviously, a speculative and hypothetical question. I don't know the answer. I don't know what she's talking about. But there are serious enough allegations with Mr. Comey that a grand jury of 14 members, a jury of his peers, thought that it was worth pursuing. They're the ones who brought the indictment. So I think you got to let the process work, Kristen. Let the justice system work, and he'll have his day in court. And if he is in fact innocent, I'm sure he'll be found that way.
Do you rule out that the president is pressuring the Justice Department based on those public comments?
You know, the president says a lot of things in public, and he has through the years. He's not a fan, as we all know, of James Comey. Neither is James Comey a fan of President Trump. He did something recently, 86-47. He wrote on the sand and then posted on social media. That doesn't seem like something that you would have an official of his stature, or at least formerly of his stature, doing either. But I think at the end of the day, it's about the justice system and them settling this one way or the other. The charges, as I said, it was a grand jury, and I have no idea where it goes from here, how solid the evidence is. I'm not a lawyer, but the courts will sort it out. And that's why we have a process in this country. And as I said, there was a time, certainly, just a few years ago, where people took this seriously enough that Chuck Grassley, who was the chairman of the Judiciary Committee at the time, launched an active investigation into these allegations. So it's not a new thing. Yes, the president may not like James Comey, and James Comey may not like the president, but in the end it's about the law and the facts, where they lead, and I trust the justice system to figure that out.
All right, let's talk about the big battle over government funding. We're just